Welcome back to Top 8 Sunday of Pro Tour Ether Drift here in Chicago, Illinois. Ailey Looney alongside Corey Baumeister bringing you the remainders of the quarterfinals. 3 out of 4 are donezo, Corey. We've got one more to show, and it's going to be a goodie.
Yeah, this is going to be the spiciest one here. We're going to be checking out this really awesome new Golgari deck that really burst onto the scene. So yeah, this is going to be a great match. I'm excited.
In the hands of Zevin Faust, that is the Golgari Graveyard that we are going to be seeing in action against Yuchen Liu. If you've just joined us, though, let's take a quick look at our bracket to see who has already made it through to our semifinals. Matt Nass taking it down. Christopher Leonard is going to be facing him in the semis. James Dimitrov is sitting, waiting in the wings to see if it is going to be Zevin Faust or Yuchen Liu that he's up against.
Yeah, James is definitely going to be hoping to play against Zevin, though. Zevin, the one matchup that he didn't want to play against was Domain. So, you know, if Zevin gets to the top 4, be like, well, you know, I had a great run. I'm getting to the top 4. Now I got to play 2 bad matchups no matter what in a row to get there. But, yeah, plenty of Magic to play before that.
Zevin has just been so, I don't want to say shell-shocked, but like in disbelief the entire time. It's like, hey, bud, you're playing really good Magic, so keep it going. And his opponent, Yuchen Liu, didn't have the smoothest path here to the top 8. Had multiple win-and-ins, stumbled a couple times.
4 of them, to be exact.
finally clinched it and made his way into the top 8 here. So we're joining these players in Game 2. Zevin Faust picking up a pretty lengthy Game 1. So this is still pre-sideboarding for anyone joining us. It is going to be sideboards after Game 3, after Game 2, I should say, so from Game 3.
Yep, absolutely. And Zevin's list, you know, we kind of saw in, or heard in the soundbite, excuse me, this Golgari Graveyard deck, they were kind of off of it because they couldn't get the Gruul matchup down, but then they found Souls of the Lost, the ability to have this really big 2-drop that you can get down early, and it really flipped the matchup for them, they said. So this went from being a matchup that looks pretty bad on paper to was actually performing pretty well. Zevin said he played 2 matches with it, and it worked out great and locked it in. So
love it. Second sight then, I guess.
Yeah.
He played it twice, and we're like, yeah, I'm going to rock this at the Pro Tour, and it served him extremely well here this weekend.
Yeah, and Zevin's first Pro Tour, and anybody would remember from the RC and DC, him and his team kind of came up with this Celestia Company deck in Pioneer that just broke through, put 4 out of his 7 teammates into this Pro Tour.
Both players getting their little itty-bitty idiots on the board here. So Heartfire Hero, as well as our Lizard down here for Yuchen. Their Souls the Lost. And its power and toughness is equal to the number of permanents in your yard. So it doesn't just look at creatures, which is handy.
Yep. And the Vermin being sacked, you get the -1/-1. Combo.
Yeah. Kill some stuff.
That's pretty much a Splinter Twin scenario right here.
Okay. So things going so far so good here for Zevin.
Yeah, and only a 2, 3 toughness creature right now. Decent, but 1 monstrous rage able to push through any of these creatures. So we'll see. There's the Obliterating Bolt to deal with it straight away.
Yeah, that'll exile it. Rockface Village down as well, so that'll come into play later, no doubt, for Yuchen. Gets the Monstrous Rage on the Heartfire Hero, and whee! Away we go. Lots of damage coming in. Down to 11 goes Zevin.
All right, now a big turn to see if Zevin can get some big blockers in the way, because that's really what his deck is doing. You have some removal with Harvesters of Misery, having that kind of alternate mode. You have up the Beanstalks to draw cards, but other than that, this deck wants to be dropping gigantic 5 toughness creatures ahead of the curve as much as he can to then combat the Gruul deck's aggression. There's not a lot of, cut downs, go for the throat type thing.
Yeah. Okay, here comes up the Beanstalk. So this deck utilizing this powerful little enchantment because all of its creatures, sure, you're paying 1 or 2 for them, but as we've seen with discounts in the Domain decks, well, yeah, you're just going to get some free cards off of them.
Yep, absolutely. And now Yuchen, Hellbent here, no cards in hand, but at worst has the ability to go +2 on damage with the Rockface Village on the Heartfire Hero. And then if you do draw a land, not so bad, you get an extra point with the Hired Claw. And if you get a spell, well, great, it's a spell. So kind of all good draws here for Yuchen.
Yeah. Not very many blockers in the way here, just the Malt Tender. Good way to fill up the bin for all the other cards that care about the graveyard size, as well as add a little extra mana if he ever stumbles on lands.
Yep. Torch the tower off the top. Not terrible by any means. You're able to boost up this Heartfire hero, get in there for a total of 6 damage, and torch this Molt Tender, which doesn't go to the graveyard, goes to exile.
That's good. I think there's only one card in Zevin's list that cares about exile and the graveyard, so
yeah.
Hopefully he'll be able to find that if things keep getting sent to the exile.
Good combat. Yeah. Tax trigger. 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
5, 6.
Yeah. Plus the extra one up top, so 7 total.
Yeah, and this is just such a huge... I mean, obviously these matches are so huge for these players anyways, but it's so much more amplified from Yuchen's side because, well, Yuchen knows, maybe doesn't know now based on the other match still playing when Yuchen is playing, but the fact that it's all domain the rest of the way, you know, if Yuchen were to be able to win this one, would be favored to win this Pro Tour.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Zevin's going to make it as difficult as possible for him to do so. As Synod Scout hits the board, we're going to explore, find another land. There's another Beanstalk in hand.
Definitely not what you want here. You want to be playing something big. There is something big.
Nice.
That being said, with this Heartfire hero having trample, if it dies to the 5/4, it's going to deal that amount of damage, and if it gets through, it's going to trample over. So I think no matter what, this is just an lethal attacker, as the Heartfire hero is going to go up to 5 power, and it's going to go to 4 toughness. So if the 5/4 blocks, Zevin dies because it just goes 5 upstairs.
Yeah.
If the scout dies, you take 4.
Yep, that's still deado.
Yeah, so I think no matter what, we are dead. I guess you can have one of the overwhelming remorse.
Yeah.
And that would be huge.
If there's enough stuff in the yard, definitely, but not in hand for Zevin, so Yuchen Liu able to tie things up here. We're going to go to game 3, and players get access to their sideboards.
Yep, absolutely. So for the sideboarding here, what we saw from these players, we'll start from Zevin's side. You're able to bring in another Harvester of Misery, the Terror Tide, kind of the sweeper in black here for 4 mana. 1 cut down, and then you take out some of your worst cards, the Chitting Gravestalker that we just saw. That's kind of the lesser of the cheap creatures that Zevin has at the top end, as well as Molt Tender and 1 Hollow Marauder as well.
Nice start here for Zevin, has the Beanstalk first and foremost. A permanent in the bin. And, ooh, Emberheart Challenger. Excellent start here for Yuchen. Synod Scout, Explore. Hi, Harvester. Ooh, stay on top.
Would have loved to just have that Harvester right now for the Challenger.
Yeah. Okay,
But yeah,
it's going to go to bin.
Makes sense. When that one's face up, it's a lot easier to play around.
Yeah, for sure.
There is 3 in the list anyways, but yeah, that is such a great card for this deck. Being able to have a removal spell that's a creature that also fuels the creatures in the yard.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome synergies in this
This
list.
deck is awesome.
I'm keen to see if this if the team iterates on it after this Pro Tour.
Yeah. The thing is about this type of deck, there's not too much changes you can make. It really does do its thing, you know, like...
It'll be interesting to see if the new sets bring any new graveyard synergies for Golgari Graveyard.
So I don't think I saw Yuchen with a 3rd land at all.
Judges are here for helping you, so if you have any problem,
Doing some math here for Yuchen.
raise your hand for judge.
Debating how this works.
Also, this tournament, like the Pro Tour, is
If you attack, you build a gigantic creature. There is those kind of scenarios where if you were to kill a creature, well, damage gets dealt to the souls. It does increase, so you got to kind of play around that. This is kind of the Tarmogoyf effect that we've seen before.
Because that's, what, a 3/4 at the moment?
It's a 3/4 at the moment, but if the scout were to go to the yard, it would, you know, have a 5 toughness.
Yeah. You wouldn't think there would be this many decisions to make with the Gruul Mice deck, but
Yeah.
we've seen time and time again, players slow down, just analyze absolutely every possible angle of
Yeah.
attack.
And I think we have 2 monstrous rages here, maybe even a third from Yuchen. I saw a lot of monstrous rages.
Trigger.
Rage once, flip,
Not great.
and Keeper's Talent.
So that goes
3, 4, 5, 6 power now?
6 power, yep.
Yeah.
And I think that is the perfectly awkward number where if you deal 4 to Souls of the Lost and 2 to the Scout, the Souls of the Lost
Souls
would
of
live.
Foes, yeah.
Yeah. So I think you just have to kill just the Souls of the Lost here, unless I'm mistaken. Assuming this works the same way that like Tarmogoyf would work.
It's trampling though, right?
Yeah, it would trample, but
Triggers.
Okay, we're just going again. Nice.
So this
Okay.
is
So that's
5
enough to
power.
kill them dead.
for sure enough to kill them both. Let's see if the creature can live. That'll be 5 toughness.
Yes.
So I think it still dies.
Powers of all, everything will die.
Yes.
So 3, 6.
So I think here's going to be Yuchen's, like, I got to deal 5 to this.
So I should take
3,
3.
4,
So it's
5.
4, 5, 6.
6, 7, 8,
Yeah,
9.
I think I.
Okay.
You take 5 to this, 2 to this.
Yeah, there we go. So it is the Tarmogoyf
You take
effect.
2.
Okay, I'll take 2. Okay.
Yep, smart play from Yuchen.
Cool.
Not sure if Zevin knew that interaction as well.
It's very strange when it
Very
comes up
strange
the first
one.
time.
Yes, yes.
Because basically, if things die at the same time, it then checks and says, oh, there's an extra permanent in the bin now, so I live.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's a fancier, much more easy to say name / thing for that, but I'm not a judge, so. Land passes back. Knowing Vermin hits the board, and Zevin gets a land down.
Go.
What a powerful exchange with that Marauder there against Gruul. Like, it, you know, the 2 toughness is not great on that creature, but the fact that it just made Yuchen discard a card and Zevin got to draw 2, like.
Pretty sweet.
And Overlord Impending, of course, triggers up the Beanstalk as well.
Excuse me. Hollow Marauder. They're both purple.
Yeah, and just getting back your gigantic creature. I mean, this one's going to be
Jeez.
absurd.
Don't discard Gnawing Vermin.
Souls of the Lost. There's the Gnawing Vermin.
So I think there is a Screaming Nemesis. So Screaming Nemesis on defense against this
funny.
gigantic creature does, you know, stop the way because you do not want to be taking a ton of damage
How
here.
big is
but
the Souls now?
I
It's
mean,
got to be enormous.
It's got to just be 8 or 9, right? It's everything's a
Nine.
permanent.
Wait, oh, yeah.
I think it's just a 9,
Nine.
10. There we go.
Hey, get that out of the way.
So it's going to be 13 damage.
Yeah, can we get some more stuff in the bin?
Players, welcome.
Yeah, even if we don't finish it this turn,
Vermin,
Yuchen's
mill.
not going to be able to come back and deal 16.
There's
So
the permanent.
looks like this is going to be Zevin 1 game away.
14.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I can see how Souls of the Lost flipped this matchup a bit. It seems
Yeah.
like a nightmare,
That thing's a beater.
yeah, to play against.
And very appropriate flavor text. Do you remember us? To be honest, no one paid attention to you when your set released. Dear Souls of the Lost.
So now all Zevin has to do is just attack with the flyer here.
Yeah.
And this will be all
Yeah,
done.
otherwise, Screaming Nemesis is going to go wee, boom.
Exactly.
Right back at you, friend.
Okay, that was sweet.
Yeah, cool. Get another game out of these two. So, Golgari Graveyard looking pretty strong here if we're able to deal with the threats that Yuchen deploys on the board.
Yep.
Now we get to look at the opening hands.
All right.
As a treat.
As a treat. I love it. And this would be the game where Yuchen, I would think, is heavily favored, you know, being able to just get under Zevin here, but we might not have had a second land there.
Vermin gets a Husk Burster. There we go. In the bin alongside a land. So that's a good start for permanent count.
Yep. Has a forest, Carplusion Forest. Doesn't have a mountain, it looks like. So still 2 land here perfectly reasonable. And now how just to best approach this turn. You have the Challenger, or you can play Heartfire Hero and maybe your Monstrous Rage.
Don't know if the hero wants to come down. Yeah, this rat is a bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
Just because of the minus effect, so don't want the hero out without a way to protect it or buff it.
yeah, because that's the thing is if you attack with just the Challenger, you can just block with the Vermin. It gives it -1 and makes your day a little brutal. So the Challenger wouldn't be able to get in damage, so that play is not great. So just this and Heartfire Hero and be on your way seems pretty good to me.
17.
Torture Tower takes care of the vermin, so no death effect. That's a lot of cards in there. Good grief. 2 Souls of the Lost, Terratide, Beanstalk, and Overlord. Woo!
Okay, all that being said, Zevin's next 2 turns look great. It's just Souls of the Lost, Souls of the Lost.
Yeah.
You know, and they get progressively bigger. You know, the first one will be a 3/4, then they'll both be 4/5s.
Third land would be great, though.
Oh, and you know the really spicy piece of technology is the Terror Tide will never kill the Souls of the Past.
Souls of the Lost?
Or Souls of the Lost,
Yeah.
excuse me.
That's sweet, because I got the 1 extra toughness.
Yeah, because it will always have 1 extra toughness than the permanent. So that's a combo right there.
Terratide, giving all creatures -X,
I mean,
-X.
7, yeah.
X is permanence, so a neat
16,
little interaction
7.
there with
Yeah.
those 2. I bet you they're the Souls of the Lost.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
That did get Terratided.
2, 2, 1, 2.
amazing.
Yes.
So there's the land. So I assume we just go land, play a Souls of the Lost, and hope for the best. Yuchen is hellbent, so Zevin can kind of see it, you know, see the finish line as if Yuchen were to just draw very poorly. Zevin has the tools to win this. Ooh, big draw there. Innkeeper's Talon off the top.
Nice.
That was huge.
That's a lot of damage and potentially an extra card here as well off of the Emberheart Challenger, depending on where this goes.
15.
Leveling it up to
Okay. Leveling up signifies that we're not going towards the Challenger. Otherwise, you would probably want to
yeah, see what
do
they-
that later and
yeah.
see if there's a 1-drop you want to play. So that's
Who
2, 2.
gets it?
Targeting this.
You can get the hero up to 4 and actually get in there. So that makes a lot of sense.
Tax. Sure.
Okay.
Everyone in.
So if you block the Challenger,
Yeah, right. This is 5. This is 4. To take
4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh,
Yes.
5 and then 1. Yeah. It's 3,
3.
4, 5. Yeah.
yeah. With
Go to 1.
Yep.
No baby.
Okay, now we need to top deck the land for the Terror. For the Terror Tide. If we do have that Heartfire Hero doesn't deal any damage.
Cut down. Not gonna happen that time around. That would have been sweet to see that card go off.
I mean, that would have been great. You know, being able to wrath the board there. Of course, Yuchen could have just drew a Screaming Nemesis, something like that, to win on the spot, but would have gave him a chance. And another good old game 5.
Yeah. Getting max value out of this top 8 of ours, huh?
Exactly.
Zevin Faust, Yuchen Liu. The final quarterfinals to be decided here. Both players keeping a hand of 7. You love to see it. Let's get down to business. Lizard to start things off. Sinnoh scout the draw for Zevin.
Ooh, Zevin's hand is great. A couple
Nice.
Harvesters of Misery to be able to kill a couple creatures.
Yeah.
You know, would love a 3rd land here. That would really tie the room together. But if we can find that, we're really,
Yeah. Sinnoh
really going to the
scouts,
races here.
Possibly able to do so.
It's risky to send
Yeah.
out Scout here, so I think I agree with this. Just
Yep, just kill the things.
yep, and then start doing the Scout stuff next turn.
3rd land. Nemesis in for 3.
All right, big draw step here for Zevin.
Clean answer for that would be wonderful for Zevin.
And Zevin,
Hey, third
Zevin
land.
does have a clean answer if he wants to go that route.
with Remorse, or okay, we're going Bailmark first.
Okay, not leaving up black mana, so not interested in, you know, just remorsing this Nemesis.
Don't know if we have enough creature cards in the yard respective. There's just 2 there, I think.
Yeah. It's saying if you would have flipped over,
Sure, yeah.
you know, but then again, you would take extra damage.
Yeah, Llanowar Wastes
Yeah,
hurts.
so this was the safer play. And now, Yuchen has the ability to torch the tower, the Screaming Nemesis, which will then kill the Scout, and no more lifelink, no more life gain available. Now, there's not a lot of it from Zevin's deck, but, you know, there's still some.
It is kind of a cute little thing to do, regardless.
Yeah.
So. Yuchen asking the question, would you like to block?
Yeah, there's Balos that could come down to gain some life.
Yes. So attacks declared. Damage.
Yeah, not a lot of creatures right now in the yard, so that was a rather bad flip from the Overlord.
Listen, he's trying his best.
Yeah.
Okay? It's always a risk. You never know what's on top of the deck, so.
Yep.
Take 11.
Monstrous Rage. Goes down to 11, so 6 damage dealt there. It's a growing threat here.
Now we'll see what Yuchen wants to do, because, yeah, you kind of don't want the Scout to actually just go to the graveyard, because it helps out the rest of your creatures.
Yep.
So you might even just torch the tower it, or just completely ignore it for as long as you can. And wow, that looks like Zevin has 0 plays, because can't even play the Remorse. Okay, does have
Yeah.
the Harvester as something.
But even that doesn't let him play the Overwhelming Remorse.
Yeah.
Take 1.
Yeah, all it is essentially only a -1, because you have to take a pain to play it.
Yeah. Torch the tower, puts it into exile, so that still doesn't help Zevin.
Yep.
Man,
Looking great for Yuchen.
it is. Stumbled a lot to get
Challenger.
into the top 8 here, and looks like Yuchen has said no more. I'm gunning for number 1.
Okay.
Ooh, Restless Ridgeline getting busy now.
This is 9 damage coming in. Zevin can make it 8. It's the best thing he can do, so no matter what, Zevin's gonna go down to 3, and there's a Burst Lightning in hand and the ability to kick it, so I don't think there is a possibility that Zevin can do anything, except I guess you immediately have to draw Obstinate Baloth here, and
Yeah.
then the math is still probably not there.
I think we're gonna see our final semifinalist here, Corey.
Yeah, I think you are right.
So the last is a 1, 2, 3, 4,
Cards.
5, 6, 7, 8.
No matter what, the way he tapped should have taken a pain.
Yeah, should be at 3.
Essentially doesn't matter, as the Burst Lightning is able to clear this out.
Yep, that's 4. There's the Remorse.
Boom!
There's the Burst Lightning to face, and that is going to be Yuchen Liu making it into the semifinals here at Pro Tour Ether Drift. Big congratulations to him. That was sweet.
Yeah, big congrats to Yuchen, especially after that really bumpy end of day 2 where you're 11-1, you lose 3 win-and-ends, and then the 4th one isn't even guaranteed if you win. Ended up having his breakers being excellent, and now with Yuchen being the only Gruul deck in a sea of domain, this is Yuchen's Pro Tour to lose.
Let's see if Yuchen Liu can be the hero we all need to take down these domain overlords. Riley caught up with him after the matchup, so let's go and hear from him now.
I'm here with Yuchen Liu, fresh off a win in the quarterfinals. Congratulations, Yuchen. Now, this is your 2nd Pro Tour top 8, and there's something very interesting about the last time you made a top 8, which was back in 2017.
Yes, it's a Pro Tour Ether Revolt in Dublin. Also has a Ether in the tournament. I think the Ether power helps me.
It's a good luck charm for you, the Ether, that's right. Now, we were talking off camera about your deck choice. You were saying that the deck that you chose is very difficult to play, and something that is, you've had to really work hard to get as far as you have, because it's again not an easy deck to do well with.
Yeah, they have a very many complicated calculations, and I just believe it's a great choice, but I do not have too many times to prepare. Yes, I only did 6-4 in the Swiss round. I came. The biggest reason I can become the top 8 is I 6-0 the draft.
It just goes to show how important limited is. Yeah, that's right. But I want to ask more broadly, are you feeling very confident? Are you feeling like you're under a lot of pressure?
Both, I guess. Nowadays, I'm just stay like casual player. I do not have a pro team to test with. I just hang out with my friends or play with Magic Online or Magic Arena. Not taking it so seriously. I think with prepare to other team or the other person. I think I'm more casually playing the game.
Well, I tell you what, for a casual player, you've done very, very well, making it to the top 8. Yuchen, congratulations. Best of luck in the semi-finals.
Thank you. Thank you.
4 remain, 1 Gruul Mice and 3 Domain. Who's going to take it all down? We'll find out next. We'll be back at the news desk in 2.